Hi everyone, my name is Ronald Denisio and I'm the Virtual Content Specialist for 7th grade Social Studies. I wanted to take the time to talk about strategies for teaching Unit 1, Day 16 and 17, Colonial Regions. You can find the original lesson on page 192 of the Unit 1 Day-by-Day Planner in the Passport to Social Studies Unit Plan. Here's where you can find the lesson plan, as well as the documents that we'll use for this lesson. Prior to teaching this lesson, it's important that you talk to students about the difficulty of teaching and learning about slavery and the mistreatment of Native Americans and Africans throughout history. Let them know that it is not a comfortable topic for anyone, and it is an awful reality of the history of our nation. Remind students that they may encounter terms and primary sources that we know are not appropriate, but are unfortunately representative of words used during this time period in history. In this lesson in particular, be sure to address and debrief the manner in which slavery, the treatment of enslaved people, and interactions with Native Americans is presented in the documents students will analyze. In this teacher-facing video, we'll talk about the station's activity strategy, and we'll also go over 3 strategies that students will use while exploring the documents, including the table Twitter strategy, the document and image analysis strategy, and the 531 document analysis strategy. While these strategies are useful for the colonial region lesson, these are strategies that can be used for many different lessons in the Passport to Social Studies curriculum. In this lesson, students will examine how differences in geography, climate, and sources of labor contributed to the development of different economies in the New England, Middle, and Southern colonies. For our introduction and model slides, we will take some time to build the necessary background that will help students to engage with the sources in this lesson. We'll share with students as colonization continued on the eastern coast of North America, the unique geography and climate led to the development of different economies in 3 colonial regions: the New England colonies, Middle colonies, and Southern colonies. We'll share with students that throughout this lesson and our next lesson, we will analyze documents to learn more about the characteristics of these 3 regions. We will model for students by using the map on the next slide to point out the locations of the New England, Middle, and Southern colonies. We could also inform students that it is easier to view the details of the map by viewing the Google slide in present mode. Before we get into the stations activity, we'll ask students to read each set of characteristics and then use the map and their knowledge of geography to infer which region each set of characteristics is describing. You might ask students to work on this independently first, and then pair up with a partner, and then share out with the larger class. We'll have students compare the geography with the economy and identify which colonial region does this describe: the New England, Middle, or Southern colonies. Once students have made inferences based on the map, facilitate a discussion with students to determine which characteristics describe which region of colonies. Once students have identified the 3 regions and their characteristics, provide them with the instructions on the following slides. Students will explore these documents in a stations activity. In a stations activity, students work together in groups and move from station to station to read, watch, and interpret a variety of resources that focus on an event, theme, or question from multiple perspectives. This lesson is perfect for a stations activity because we have a variety of New England, Middle, and Southern colony economy, culture, and political systems documents. Prior to the start of each day, determine which colonial region is the focus that day and set up 3 stations: economy, culture, and politics, with that region's sources and activities. Assign each student group to a station. Students should complete the activity for that station in approximately 5 to 8 minutes, or whatever amount of time that you think fits best for your students. When time is up, have students move to the next station to complete the corresponding activity. You want to repeat the process so that all students have the opportunity to explore each of the 3 colonial region stations. There are a multitude of documents included in the slides that follow. Prior to providing these slides to students, consider decreasing the number of documents provided to each group, keeping in mind class time, the needs of your respective students, and the objective of the lesson. That is the end of part 1 of the Unit 1, Day 16 and 17, Colonial Regions teacher-facing video. Make sure to watch part 2 of this video series, where we go over suggested strategies and activities for students to use when analyzing documents in their stations activity.